my wombat poo paper. Lucky you to come into the day and I'm making wombat poo paper. Now, what I've done is I've taken my pulp and I've added it to water. Now, to get thickness for the paper is going to be determined by how much pulp I add to the water. So that means if I want to make a thick card, all I'm doing is adding lots and lots of pulp to the water. But if I want to make it thin, it's the other way around. It's going to be a lot of water, small amount of pulp. The tool that I'll use to make it with is called a mould and decal. So the base part of the tool is the mould, and the second part of the tool is called the decal. Now the word decal is a German word, and it goes back to when the Germans invented the printing press. They also introduced the decal, which is when we got the A formats to paper. And this decal today is going to give me my largest A format, which is an A2. If I want to make the other sizes of A formats, I divide the decal up. So this one will give me 2 A3s, I can do 4 A4s, and so on. Okay. So to make the paper, the first thing I do is stir the mixture up. And as I do so, you'll see all the pulp come from the bottom and rise to the surface of the water. So then what I do is take the tool and I scoop the pulp up. Now when I bring it out, I'm going to start to shake it together. I'm going to do it from side to side and front to back. Now as I shake it, what I'm doing is I'm reconnecting all those little hairs that come off the side of the cellulose. So when the water starts to drain away, all those hairs start to form on top of each other. And that is what's going to then strengthen the paper. So all I do from here is remove the water from it. And the more and more water I get out of it, the stronger and stronger it's going to become. So what I'm going to do in a moment, just got a little bit of water out, and I'm going to tilt it, and you can start to see there now how it's starting to hold itself together. So I remove the decal, and I'm left with one A2 size sheet of paper made from wombat poo. Any questions? Okay. So, what I'm going to do is make another sheet for you. So in a moment, I'm going to press the water out of that paper to make it stronger, then I'm going to put it up to dry. So the three things I'm doing here, I'm generating the thickness by how much pulp I've added to the water, I've got the shape because I've got the decal on the top, but more importantly, I'm reconstructing the fibres. I'm bringing all the fibres back together by shaking it. So that way when the water drains, those hairs fall on top of each other, and that's what binds it together. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to get you to come around the other side of this. This material is made from wool, and it's what we call felt. Now the felt will absorb the water. However, wool only absorbs the water when it's wet. So I'm going to keep these damp at all times. I don't dry them out. What I do now is a technique we call couching. Now that comes from a French word coucher, which means to lay down, to lie to rest. So I lie it down to the felt, I press the water into it, so that when I peel the mould away, the paper's left on the top.
Look at
then
that.
what I'll do is
Isn't that
repeat that
amazing?
process. So I put another felt, another layer of paper, bit up a stack, then it goes into a press, where I'll press the water out of the paper. However, I'm only going to press a very small amount of water out. By doing so, it's going to strengthen the paper, so now I can take it and pick it up. Okay, so I haven't taken too much water out, but it's enough just to compress it together. The water that's in the paper is going to help me stick to my drying panels. The drying takes place to the side here, so I'm going to come over. I'm going to show you where I'm going to stand in the game. Then I'll press the paper, I'm ready to put it up to dry. Now in my drying room here, I have these large metal panels. It's actually colour-bond steel, which is just metal with a painted covering. However, this surface is really smooth. So the result is by placing my paper against this surface to dry, is going to leave one side of the paper smooth and the other side will be slightly textured. Now to get the paper on here, I'm going to put one up on the glass so you can see, because you won't be able to see me put the ones on the metal. So what I do is I basically just pick my paper up, I stand back and I just throw it on there.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would wreck it.
That would be impressive.
I just wanted to check to see if you were listening. That was all. Okay, what I do is I bring it on here, excuse me, and sit it on here like this. Then what I do is I take a brush, and I use the brush to get the paper to stick, to smooth it out. Once the paper is on here, it has a little bit of air between the surface and the paper. Now if I don't remove that air, the fibres will shrink, and it's natural for that to happen. However, it would buckle and peel off the surface. So what I do is I take a roller and I roll the air out. Now that's where the paper will now stay for 24 hours. And I actually have one here that I prepared earlier. And 24 hours later, all I do is come along and I peel it off.
Ta-da!
And
Paper.
it is nice and smooth on one side, rough on the other. In fact, it's almost as shiny and smooth as my head. Look at that. And that's it. So 24 hours later, the paper is now dry and it's ready to be used. And that's it. Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
You talked about the deco over there, and sometimes you go to buy a book and it talks about it's with deco edges.
Correct. So what you're getting is this ragged edge. Okay, so the decal will give you a bit of a fluffy edge if you like, and that is created by the decal. Now commercially what they do is just make a long piece of paper. However, they still have a decal, but only on each side, because otherwise the pulp will wash out. But you get a rough edging on a commercial paper, but they trim everything down. So to get a paper from a commercial mill that's going to be A4, they take the big roll of paper and they trim everything down. So everyone gets used to everything being really clean cut. So sometimes people see this on my paper, oh, that's a bit rad, but, it's not really all that good. But that's great. That's what you want with handmade paper, because it truly shows you that is 100% handmade. And wherever I use my paper and presenting it, I present it with this rough edge, unless I've made a mistake. And in fact, one of those sheets that I handed around had a big chunk taken out of the corner. That sheet of paper is worth more money to me because it's missing that chunk than this one here that's perfect. And that's because with anything that's no good, I turn it into something else. And that something else could be a wombat poo bookmark, where I've simply printed onto the paper and I've trimmed that bad part of the paper away. Or it can be a little card with a blue wren on it, like we've got here. So then I will take all the offcuts, including the bad piece of paper, and I'll sell that as well, but I'll sell it in a scrap pack. So car makers and scrapbookers can use that product. So the bad sheets of paper make me 2 products. So I make more money from the bad sheet than I do the good sheet. However, we only sell good sheets of paper. So then we build up a reputation of making good quality fine handmade paper. So if someone buys a pack of paper, they know they're going to get good sheets in there. A couple of other things we can do. This one here, I've added some gum leaves to the paper. Now how I've done this is before I press the paper, I position the gum leaf onto the paper, and then that's pressed into the paper, leaving the gum leaf in the paper. The other thing you can do is emboss the paper, where I've used an old doily. And I put that onto the wet sheet, then I press it, and then I take it off. And you get it embossed, and this becomes a box. Okay? The other thing you can do is you can grow things from the paper. This is my kangaroo poo paper. And what we've done is put a kangaroo paw seed in the paper. So you take the paper and you plant it, and you get a kangaroo paw growing from your piece of paper, which is a type of plant. So you can do lots of things with handmade paper. You're not limited in what you can do. But we always value add, no matter what we do. So not only do I use waste material to make paper, I don't have waste because I'll sell it. And that's how we make money from the way we do these things. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to put you to work. I've got a room set up to make some paper. Now when we get into that room, I have a bench where you can put your bags and things like that down. We've also got some very fashionable aprons that you can pop on, so you can find yourself an apron. Then I'm going to teach you how to make some paper. And we've even got a little apron for you as well. So come this way, let's have a go at making some paper.